Well, hello everybody, welcome to 2C TV, your global news channel. I'm Maya Tusi, and this is your latest news updates and some breaking news coming from Syria. The Israeli Defense Forces have now launched a direct attack on the Syrian capital in Damascus following the threat coming from the Islamists led by Jolani's government. Specifically, the issue is in Suwaida and in the southwestern part of Syria, where the Druze, Syrian civilians and Christians have been getting targeted by the Sunni extremists. We have a lot to show you guys, including we now have a live feed coming directly from Suwaida in Syria, but we also have a live feed coming up shortly from the border between Syria and Israel. We're going to keep you guys posted on what's going on live on the ground as well, and we have a number of videos which we're going to show you now. The clashes over the last couple of hours, ongoing clashes between of course the Druze and the Islamists, and of course Israel and the Islamists in Syria. Of course, the Israeli government told Jolani's government in Syria over the last few weeks and months to stay away from the southwest, to ensure that part between Israel and Syria is a demilitarized zone, so you don't have any trouble there, and told them not to attack the Druze. Of course, the Druze continue to get attacked. First things first, let me show you some of the videos that we have, the latest updates since last night, which we gave you the live coverage. There's a village in Syria, the Khadr village in the south, where the Druze from that area attempted to break through the fence. Obviously, this is near the Shams Tower. The IDF forces were trying their best to obviously stop chaos from escalating. Let's go to that video.
التحية وقف مجد الشمس. الحول والحذر. انزل سريع. الله يحييهم. حيي نباك.
Yeah, the conflict continues to escalate. There are absolute chaotic scenes as we speak in Suwaida. This is the main area in the southwest of Syria where the Druze are supposed to be based. Of course, the Sunni Islamists, who are basically ISIS and Al-Qaeda type of people, infiltrated that. They attacked the Druze. The Druze fought back. The government in Damascus decided to blame it on the Druze and sent the government forces to calm things down. Somehow, Jolani's government, that claimed to be on neither side and supposed to be a referee, have only been attacking the Druze. So the scenes from street battles in Suwaida is getting absolutely chaotic now. Let me show you the next video. Then we're going to give you guys what happened with Damascus as the Israeli Air Force have successfully hit the Syrian regime's military headquarters.
اشتباكات داخل محافظة السودان. الله أكبر.
Absolutely crazy stuff happening. As I said, we also still do have the live feed from Suwaida in Syria. We'll just wait to see what happens in this corner. Then we're going to go to the live feed from the border between Syria and Israel to keep an eye on that as well. The reason the border is important is because a lot of the Israeli Druze have still been trying to cross the border into Syria to show solidarity, to go fight against the Islamists on behalf of the Syrian Druze. Of course, the Israeli government are saying, well, you stay back. We are doing this. Now, the Israeli Druze are not too happy, saying that you need to do more. So there's been a lot of protests in the northern parts of Israel as well last night, because the Israeli Druze are demanding that the IDF does even more. Of course, they are doing a lot more now. They literally just hit the military headquarters in Damascus. So let's talk about that actually, because we are getting more updates about this. The entrance gate of the Syrian regime's military headquarters in Damascus was hit a couple of hours ago by the Israeli fighter jets. Of course, Jolani is about to be making a statement shortly. He has essentially said that we are still trying our best not to escalate the situation while condemning the Israelis and the Druze from defending themselves against the Islamists. We have a statement from the Israeli Air Force that I posted this earlier, saying the Air Force attacked a short time ago the entrance gate of the Syrian regime's military headquarters in the Damascus area of Syria. The IDF continues to monitor developments and activities against the Druze civilians in southern Syria, and in accordance with the directives of the political echelon, is striking in the area and is prepared for various scenarios. Essentially, the indication is that if we have to escalate in order to keep peace, we will escalate. If we have to escalate to ensure that the Islamists in Syria do not become a bigger threat to the Druze, but to also the rest of Israel, then they will have to escalate. I'm still waiting for the latest feed from the border as well. Meanwhile, many of the Israeli Druze civilians have been trying to cross the border into Syria, basically illegally, in order to go fight. The Israeli Defense Forces and the border police in Israel are still trying to handle and contain the situation. They have arrested a number of them, saying it's not your job to do this. Don't worry, we are on top of this. And I'm going to show you a quick video of the moment where the Israeli Druze, were trying to cross the border fence. So they're like running over there. They've also set fire to the roads as a protest. It's a little bit blurry, but hopefully you can see most of it. Crazy. Yep. There we go. There's more of them there. They got their Druze flags, like you can see, barely. So that's the situation. It's still ongoing. I was just having a look at just before we came live, the live feed from the border, and it is completely chaotic down there. But after a recent assessment, the IDF decided to make an announcement, plans to now reinforce more troops along the Syrian border fence. This decision obviously follows the massive clashes in Suwaida in southern Syria. The Israeli Defense Forces are now busy dealing with so many issues all at the same time, by the way. Of course, we have the Gaza situation, we have Lebanon, but even when it comes to the situation in Syria, we got the idea of trying to monitor the situation in Suwaida. We got the rest of the IDF and the Israeli Air Force hitting Damascus. Then we also have the rest of the IDF at the border trying to control that situation. I'm not really sure how. I mean, it is quite impressive, the level of multitasking right now happening. I would not want to be in the shoes of Eyal Zamir, the head of the IDF right now, because I don't think it's going to be an easy job. We also do have an update about a catastrophe in the main national hospital in Suwaida. This happened a few hours ago. The National Hospital in Suwaida is still currently out of service because of an ongoing siege. Yes, medical staff have issued urgent appeals for intervention as the hospital has now been cut off from electricity, water and food. Sources are now saying that a doctor has been killed while attempting to reach the facility. We're trying to still get more information about the ongoing situation at the hospital in Suwaida. This is basically the Islamists from outside of Suwaida, mostly from the Damascus side, when they've gone all the way down there to attack the Druze, and in order to take control of this, they are trying to take control of hospitals and everything else. Now, of course, more Syrian Druze civilians are begging Israel to send more help to help them push these idiots out. Israelis have obviously reconfirmed their commitment to the Druze community, saying, don't worry, we are coming. The reinforcement has now been confirmed by the IDF. It technically should be the job of Jolani, by the way. Technically speaking, it's the job of Jolani as a so-called president of the whole of Syria to ensure this doesn't happen. But the people who are doing this are basically supporters of Jolani, directly or indirectly, or they used to be former friends of Jolani. Of course, now Jolani, now that he's wearing a suit and a tie, he says, I don't really have any more connections with my past, with the ISIS types. But his former friends are still on the ground causing trouble, and his government forces, instead of going around and getting rid of those guys, they are also attacking the Druze. So you can't really blame people for having the theory that, well, they're all working together. The Syrian regime forces and the Islamists, the Tahrir al-Sham. So regardless of what Jolani says publicly speaking, Prime Minister Netanyahu has come out to say, we will not allow a second Lebanon on our border. And we have a responsibility to protect the Druze population, which is absolutely correct. We also have this statement from Israel Katz, the defense minister, saying that the Syrian regime must leave the Druze in Suwaida alone and withdraw its forces. As we have made clear and warned, Israel will not abandon the Druze in Syria and will enforce the disarmament policy that we have decided upon. The IDF will continue to attack regime forces until their withdrawal from the area and will soon raise the level of responses against the regime if the message is not understood. Now, if you remember, when we did the live update last night, literally about 12 hours ago, 13 hours ago, I reported that Jolani has made an announcement saying the Syrian regime forces, we are withdrawing, we are leaving. Then I was showing you guys the videos as it was coming in. I was like, doesn't seem like they are leaving. All they did was they removed some of the armored vehicles and tanks and the big equipments that they had because the Israeli fighter jets were targeting them left, right and center. On the ground, their so-called soldiers were still causing trouble. In fact, we do have this latest video, which has actually now been released by the Israeli Defense Forces, showing what they were doing late last night and this morning. Essentially, this shows the recent airstrikes targeting the Syrian military assets, including tanks, rocket launchers, and armed pickup trucks that were heading towards the Druze. Let me just quickly show you this video, and then we're going to come back with more updates. So you can see all these targeted attacks. This is why Jolani told his forces to basically bring everything back, everything that's basically could be an easy target for the Israeli airstrikes. Meanwhile, his men and their boots on the ground continue to go towards Suwaida. Now, last night, the Druze and the Christians and the civilians in Suwaida did celebrate because they did temporarily manage to take control of the city. That was nice. But this morning, things have been escalating. Civilians from Israel, the issue that I mentioned about the border between Israel and Syria, obviously a lot of them are trying to break through the border fence, the barriers. Some of them have now actually entered Syria, crazy, near Majd al-Shams, which is another Druze city. According to the IDF, the military is actively working to bring the civilians back, basically arrest them and bring them back, who are the Druze residents of Israel. Let me just show you this chaotic video that we've just received from the border. This is the Israeli Druze crossing the border into Syria. Chaos. Yeah. Oh my God.
الشباب كلهم ماشي المجد شمس من نقطة الصفر. من نقطة الصفر.
There's more coming actually.
لازم شايل للدموع. لازم شايل للدموع.
Yeah, it's not really a good situation right now. I wonder what the situation is right now from the live feed from Soweto. From this angle, it seems to be fairly quiet, so that could be a good sign, I guess. But things will definitely escalate again over the next few minutes. Right, while we are waiting for more updates, let's just get some quick reactions. News update: Alan ate an ice cream bar. Alan snack bar. More jokes about Allahu Akbar. Superman says, does Allahu Akbar mean what the F? It means many things at this point. As I said last night, they would shout it if they're happy, if they're angry, if they lose, if they win. Mike says, if you're not willing to lay your lives down to defend your country's family, women and children against Islam, then prepare to lose it all. Wake up and prep. I think the rest of the comment is gone. The rest of the world and the mainstream media should be ashamed of themselves for not supporting Israel. It's always been the same. Anti-Semitism goes back to the beginning of time, not just in terms of, I don't know, supporting Israel or even the issue around anti-Semitism, just on a very, very basic level, very simple level. I've been reporting over the last day now about what's happening on the ground to innocent civilians in Syria, right? It's a complicated issue, but it's also a crisis, a humanitarian crisis. It's a major news story, right? Where are they? Where is the rest of the media cabal? You know, when you look at, for example, some of the major outlets, including CNN, you go on their website, there's a bit of a mention, you have to click on the world category and then Middle East, and you're like, oh, there's something happening in Syria, right? There's a couple of news articles, that's it. There is no actual live coverage, the way we are doing this, about what's going on, because at this point they can't blame it on Israel. So or the West, the so-called Western media, they are very, very quick to, for example, if something is happening that they could blame it on the West or on Israel, then they always do it. But they, you know, they claim that they care about humanity. That's what they always cover, about what's going on to the Gazan civilians, right? Left, right and center, you always hear about Gaza, but nothing, absolutely nothing about Syrians, nothing about the Iranians. Right now, we've been reporting about what's going on in Iran. Oh, by the way, I do have some breaking news about Iran as well. It's actually a funny one. Nothing about what's going on in Sudan. Nothing is about what's going on in Yemen or any like Christians in Nigeria. They don't actually care about the humanity part of it. They are tactical about what you should hear or see. So this is the breaking news that we received and actually reported by our team on 2c.tv, our independent website. Obviously, make sure to go on 2c.tv, also download the 2CTV app. This was reported by us. The IRGC deputy commander confirmed dead, right? So the update is, this is earlier today. The Iranian media has confirmed the death of the IRGC deputy commander, whose name was Ghulam Hussein Qayparvar, while claiming that it was due to complications from chemical injuries sustained during the Iran-Iraq war. I'm not kidding. Okay. Apparently, this guy got chemical injuries during the Iran-Iraq war back in the 1980s. Somehow, he was absolutely fine. All these years, all these decades, healthy. He climbed the ladder of the IRGC. He became a senior figure. He was doing so well. And then somehow, over the last couple of days, when the IRGC members have been assassinated, getting assassinated left, right and center, Whether it's Mossad operatives, whether it's the Iranian anti-IRGC Iranians doing it, we've been reporting on all the explosions, right? And he disappeared. The government in Iran, the media have now said, oh yes, he's dead. But he wasn't assassinated. He had this injury from the 1980s. Suddenly he just died. He could have died 6 months ago, 2 years ago, 10 years from now. But no, he died as the IRGC members are getting assassinated. So, okay, maybe he took the Pfizer vaccine. I don't know, actually probably AstraZeneca. But we know what's been going on. So the IRGC are losing more of their members. I'm just waiting for the rest of the update from the border between Syria and Israel. I can't take this seriously. It's just embarrassing. Do you think the media in the West is embarrassing? Obviously, look at the Iranian media. It's bad. All right. Who's this Amir guy who's... Okay, this guy is not happy. Take reporter that bring propagandas out. That is not English language. Take reporter that bring... And what says? Why we let them lie and play with us? I don't know. Because they lie. 99% fake news anyway. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, let's go back to some of the super chats. Oh, well, there is also a couple of comments here. Tusi, the media are paid millions by the Qatari and the liberal to report only on anti-Israel propaganda. Not just anti-Israel, as I said, but also anti-West in general. They're meant to be Western media, but actually they don't have the interests of the West at heart. We have some breaking news, I believe, coming again from Syria. There we go. This is the Druze in Syria are now reporting that the jihadist forces loyal to the Syrian regime have now surrounded the siege around the hospital. They are preventing the doctors from going in and supplying medical treatment. So we actually have the video evidence for this. I think this is the video we've just received from inside the hospital. Let me just quickly get this ready for you guys. Let's go.
هذا مشفى السويد الوطني بلا معدات ولا تمريض ولا كادر طبي كافي ومحاصرين من جميع الجهات مش قادرين لا نطلع ولا شيء رصاص حتى على الشبابيك ما فينا الغرف مفرغة من المرضى وكله بالممرات بدنا مساعدة ودعم لفك الحصار لنقدر نطلع ليك الجرح كيف
None of them are being treated.
يا جماعة مشفى السويد.
Oh, did you hear that?
نجيكم بمشفى السويد يا جماعة محاصرين المشفى ليك العالم كيف؟
This is crazy.
ليك العالم كيف رفيق؟ ساعدونا مشفى السويداء الوطني بحاجة كادر طبي وبحاجة فك حصار عنه لا يدخل دواء وأدوية للمرضى لأنه ما في ولا نوع دواء باقي بالمرضى حتى التعقيم.
That's a lot of people injured. Oh dear. That's insane. So this is the National Hospital in Soweto that has been under siege for the past few hours. The Islamists in Syria are not allowing the medical supply to actually go in, or the doctors to actually do their work properly. It's also generally, as you can see, overwhelmed with a lot of patients over the last few hours. Let's quickly go to you guys. Now it says no Jews, no news. Yep. And at this point, no Druze, no news as well. Similar to Iran, Trump demanded the IDF to stop attacking Jolani. Reports are that the IRGC are using Yemen to rebuild. Will Bibi launch a sustained bombing campaign, a carpet bomb on the Houthis? So yeah, I mean, we reported this last night in terms of the US advised Israel to temporarily suspend their attacks on Syria. But this was yesterday. And last night, late last night, Israel, the IDF did stop. They paused. The idea was that Jolani promised to withdraw his forces from the south of Syria. This morning, clearly that didn't happen. Now the IDF is back. And now they're also directly hitting Damascus because they've realized Jolani lied or Jolani is incompetent. Regardless, it didn't happen. And even the White House knows. So basically the IDF is back. Everything's fine. We've gone back to normal, basically. It was the shortest ceasefire in history of ceasefires, even shorter than the ceasefire between Iran and Israel. But yes, the issue with the Iran, the IRGC and Yemen, it's not really much of a threat, but obviously it's the job of the Americans and the Israelis to keep an eye on the IRGC activity in Yemen with the Houthis. But the fact that the IRGC only basically has Yemen left in terms of a proxy base, it's not really good for them. You've seen the Houthis. They don't even know what they're doing. So it's not the same as Lebanon. It's not the same as Syria on the Assad. It's not even like Gaza, the golden days of Gaza. Golden days. Yeah, if you're going to use Yemen as your some sort of proxy thing, it's not really a good idea. Nothing will happen. All right, we have some breaking news. We have a statement from the defense minister in Israel, Israel Katz, saying the time for warning is over. Damascus will now feel the consequences. The IDF will strike relentlessly in Suwaida until every force that dared attack the Druze is eliminated or driven out. To our Druze brothers in Israel, the IDF is standing guard over your family in Syria. Prime Minister Netanyahu and I gave our word, and we will keep it with strength. Now, you can easily tell why Israel Katz had to say something like this now, not just because of the commitment from the Israeli government to the Druze, but I just showed you the chaos at the border. We've got a bunch of Israeli Druze trying to cross the border into Syria, which I fully understand. I fully understand their passion. It just makes things complicated for the IDF because they have the Islamists to deal with. Now they have to go and chase these guys to arrest them. But the Druze are angry. They've been wanting more action. I believe now, based on what we are seeing, not just what we are hearing, the Israeli politicians don't just say things, they do things. You just saw what happened in Damascus. They hit the military headquarters. So now they have to be more robust to calm the Israeli Druze down. Netanyahu has also released a statement just now. The Prime Minister in Israel says, my Druze brothers, do we have we still have the live feed. Okay, so this is the Suwaida live feed. We'll get back to that in a sec. The Prime Minister in Israel says, my Druze brothers, citizens of Israel, the situation in Suwaida, the situation in southwestern Syria is very severe. The IDF is operating. The Air Force is operating. Other forces are operating. Basically Mossad. Everyone's operating. We are working to save our Druze brothers and to eliminate the regime's gangs. And now I have one request for you. You are citizens of Israel. Do not cross the border. You are endangering your lives. You could be murdered, you could be kidnapped, and you are harming the efforts of the IDF. Therefore, I ask you, return to your homes. Let the IDF operate. I told you. They're freaking out. There's a lot of pressure on the IDF. You kind of make it a little bit harder for that. So that was a statement from Prime Minister Netanyahu and, of course, previously from Israel Katz. More is coming out, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's just quickly get more reaction. This is real leadership, by the way. Imagine if Emmanuel Macron or Keir Starmer had to say something like this. Speaking from Israel, we must help our Druze brothers, I agree, What is happening in Syria is a reflection of the ideology of the regime there. This is a key point. Even if, let's just say, the initial clashes, which was between the Tahrir al-Sham, the Islamists, Sunni Islamists, and the Druze. The initial clashes wasn't from the official regime or the government, right? It was their supporters. Even if we say that al-Jolani's government wasn't involved, like, or promoted it publicly, the existence of al-Jolani and his gang in Damascus is allowing this to happen. Because their supporters, the rest of the Islamists, Sunni Islamists, are saying, well, who do we have in government now? Oh, it's one of our people is in government, right? Al-Jolani is president. Basically, that means we could do whatever we want. Even compared to when Assad was in charge. When Assad was in charge, then you had the Shia Islamists doing whatever they want. Now we have the Sunni Islamists doing whatever they want. It's a lose-lose situation for ordinary people in Syria. What is this? Hey Tusi, I love you very much and you are doing a great job with this channel. Please don't close it down. Why would I close it down? We're not closing it down. We will miss you. I'm not closing it down. Don't worry. Fight, 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 as the Donald would say. This AFC just say it's always sunny in Philadelphia. How did I not even think about that joke? That's a good one. Also, I love that show. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. It's always sunny in Syria. I'm going to do a merch. Enoch just said Assad was an angel compared to al-Shah. That is absolutely crazy stuff. This is the problem with essentially the Western mentality. And by West, I'm talking about everybody from Greece, Rome, Israel to the west of the world. People think everything is binary. People always think like it's either red versus blue. Either red or blue is good, or black or white, left, right. They always have to think, well, so that one is bad, so that means that has to be a little bit better or less bad. Two things could be worse at the same time. Both Assad and al-Jolani are terrible, terrible human beings. One does it from a Shia side, the other one does it from a Sunni side. Neither, even compared to each other, is less bad or an angel. That's not how it works. But it's a tribal thing that a lot of people who don't happen to be Islamists think that, you know, well, if that one is really bad, that means that one's probably less bad. Doesn't have to be tribal like that. Now, do we have I think some update is coming as well. Let me just quickly check. There we go. More. Yeah, we are hearing that the Israeli fighter jets are now flying again over Israel, allegedly flying towards Syria. So over the next few minutes and a couple of hours, we're going to see more activity. What was that? Okay. I wonder if we're hearing any explosions in the background in Suwaida. It still seems to be quiet. I mean, from this angle, you won't be able to see much, but we might be able to hear. But I don't understand why the volume is very, very quiet. I can hear it, but I don't think you guys can hear it. It's not much. It's basically just cars driving around in terms of the sound. Anyway, we'll find out shortly. Let me just double check. I think we are getting the new live feed as well. All right, so let me just double check the members of 2C TV Plus. Where are we with the... Do we have you guys? Yes. All right, cool. Let's quickly get some of the reactions from the 2C TV Plus members. Bob says, thank God I get to enjoy a live stream for change. 2C, you're a saint. Saint Maya. That's dangerous. Sorry if I spelled that wrong. Chuckle. Yeah, that is a weird way of spelling my name. M-Y-H-A-R. How does that work? It's this. Maya 2C. Anyway. The IDF is showing they care about others. These are the people we must support. The UK is a fact paper from Civil War ourselves. Al-Salami, you love that. Al-Salami is playing both sides, not a good move. It's going to backfire on him because, as I said last night, he's trying to keep the international community happy. Guys, I'm a strong, stable leader. You can trust me. On the other hand, he can't even control his own idiots. Or maybe he's allowing them to do it. All right. I can't stress this enough, but thank goodness for Israel. Am Israel Chai, says Susie. Israel has attacked military headquarters in Damascus. Why do people not believe us? What? That was the first thing we reported. Who's saying they don't believe Israel? I'm pretty sure even the Syrians have confirmed, as we said, that the IDF or the IAF hit the military headquarters. If you don't want Israel to come for you, control your troops. And if you can't control your troops, you are a weak leader and will be replaced. And yes, I don't think the way it's going, Jolani is going to have a peaceful ending. Maya, there are some right nutters in the live chat today. It's going to be great. Should I go find some trolls? Where are we? Actually, let me just get some super chats quickly before I do that. Enoch is back saying Assad was neither Shia nor Sunni. It doesn't matter what you are as a person. He was on Team Shia. That was the whole point. It's not about personal preference. It's about your team, and that's what geopolitics is about. Saying he was secular Alawite. That's irrelevant. I'm not a Jew, but I'm literally pro the Jewish nation. I'm Team Jew, and I'm a Christian. See the difference? It's the same thing. He was ousted by the completion of Obama's Arab Spring. I am Israeli. Yeah, that's why I said everybody from Greece and Israel and Rome to the west is Westerners. That's why I said all these Westerners who see it as tribal. I'm not a Jew, but I'm Team Jewish nation. Assad was not directly a Shia, but he was literally the operative on behalf of the so-called Shia empire, which is falling apart, by the way. So good luck, Assad, in Moscow. All right, let's find the trolls. Did someone just say, starting to think Israel should just take Syria, all of it? That would be a terrible idea on so many levels. Also, it just creates more. Firstly, taking over countries, not a good idea. Secondly, Israel has enough problems internally when it comes to internal politics. Imagine the bureaucracy of having to deal with a different group of people as part of what the anti-Semites would call Greater Israel Project. Yeah, that even right now, the IDF and the Israeli border police are struggling to control the Israeli Druze. Imagine they have to deal with the rest of Syria. Oh, that would be chaos. Anyway, the only one religion that makes trouble with other religions is Islam all around the world. Well, it was built based on that. So yeah, you can't really blame them. That's what they promised us since the 7th century. Now, where are the trolls? I can't find them. So it says a salute to the brave Israeli Defense Forces who defend the entire world from the threat of Islamic terrorism. Another super chat saying, been in 4 wars in the IDF, never in Syria yet. Well, Daniel, it's your time. Get ready to go to Syria. I don't think there's going to be any need for the IDF troops to be on the ground. Maybe a little bit by the border. They don't need to go to Damascus. That would be a little bit OTT. But where is Erdogan, right? I would like to see Erdogan of Turkey, who helped orchestrate this coup against Assad. I would like to hear from him, because I think within the next few hours, when the Turkish dictator makes the national address, he's going to be calling Netanyahu Hitler again, obviously, which is ironic coming from Erdogan himself. All right, I'm gonna wait for more updates. I believe the Israeli Air Force are now on their way towards Syria. We'll find out what they're going to be doing. Subscribe to the channel. 2C TV will remain your home of geopolitical news. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.